Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your sequins and sip your mimosas steady, because we're diving headfirst into the glittering grenade that detonated on the sun-kissed set of ABC's The View, that venerable vortex of verbal volleys where daytime divas dissect dreams, dramas, and the occasional diva meltdown. And on this fateful Friday in late summer 2025, the guest of honor was none other than the eternal enchantress Cher, 79 going on timeless, the gypsy queen of pop rock reinvention whose voice has velvet-throated anthems from Believe to Broadway ballads, striding into the fray fresh off her Vegas residency triumph in a tell-all memoir that's got tongues wagging from Malibu to Manhattan. The studio hums with its hallmark hurricane energy. The iconic horseshoe table polished to a high-gloss sheen under lights that could double as disco balls, encircled by a rapt audience of 250 strong fierce feminists in faux fur, silver-haired superfans clutching faded concert stubs, millennial meme makers live-streaming every eyelash flutter erupting in a roar of adoration as the opening theme blasts, a sassy sax riff underscoring Whoopi Goldberg's gravelly gravitas. Welcome to The View, where we see it all, say it all, and sometimes slay it all. Today's hot seat is scorching. The co-hosts claim their thrones, Whoopi in regal red, exuding elder stateswoman cool Sunny Hostin sharp in sapphire silk, ready to litigate Sarah Haynes Sunny in sunflower yellow, all smiles and segues Alyssa Fair Griffin crisp in cream, conservative curveballs at the ready Anna Navarro fiery in fuchsia, feisty firebrand flair and presiding over the pandemonium, Joy Behar, 83 and unapologetically unfiltered, ensconced in ebony elegance, her Baba battle-ready helmet, that trademark smirk sharpening like a stiletto as she scans the cue cards. Buckle up, butterfly so we're thrilled to welcome the one, the only, Cher, here to dish on her memoir Eternal Flame, a life in lyrics and losses, her half-century of hits, and perhaps a peek behind the curtain of that iconic tattooed dress's transformation. The ovation crashes like a cymbal symphony, whistles whipping through the wings as screens splash supercuts of Cher's chameleon chronically feathered headdress at the 70s Met Gala, leather-clad turn-back time strut, Oscar-clutching Sunny eulogy igniting I Got You Babe sing-alongs from the back rows and misty-eyed murmurs from the matriarchs up front. Offstage, the machine whirs with precision, producers puffing envelopes in the booth, projecting a 25% ratings rocket from Cher's cross-generational clout, the green room groaning under gourmet goodie bags of beluga bites, bubbly from her own label, a crystal bobblehead of her in headdress while stylists spritz final fixes on her signature raven waves. And cue the queen, the double doors part like Red Sea sequins, and Cher materializes, a vision in vintage Versace velvet pantsuit that hugs her hourglass like a lover's lament, sky-high stilettos clicking like castanets, oversized shade shielding those kohl-rimmed eyes that have seduced stadiums, a cascade of curls tumbling defiantly as she air kisses Whoopi and finger guns Joy with a husky darlings, let's make some myth. She perches on the guest podium, legs crossed like a sphinx, mic and manicured grip, exhaling a smoky sigh that silences the din as Sunny dives in. Cher, goddess, your memoir's a masterpiece, a roar reckonings on love, loss, and that seismic split with Sonya. How does it feel bearing the bones of a half-life in headlines? Cher's laugh rumbles low and throaty, a seismic purr, honey, at my age, bones are all I've got left that don't Botox is cathartic, like torching the ghosts in gypsy chants. Gales of giggles gust through the gallery, Joy nodding with a conspiratorial wink. Ghosts, sweetie, we've all got him a mind haunt the deli line for locks. The repartee rolls like a red carpet trio, Cher captivating with confetti Chaz's transition triumphs, her flirtation with fembots in Clem's Casino, the serendipity of sampling and Believe that birthed a billion auto-tune echo as a drawing Yas queens from the youth brigade and sage headshakes from the elders, cameras caressing the camaraderie as adds a lure with more to cherish every chapter. Yet, as the intermission fades and the spotlight swivels sharper, a subtle static stirs. Joy, the show's silver-tongued scorpion, swivels with a sip of Sauvignon, her gaze glinting like fool's gold. Cher, love, your reinventions are revolutionary from wave to warrior, but let's spill the sequins. Isn't all this memoir mania just a diva dodge from irrelevance? At 79, darling, Aren't you chasing charts like a cougar in culottes? When the kids are tick-toking Taylor and forgetting the feathers, the query quivers in the quartz-clear air, a silken shank wrapped in satin sympathy, and Cher's shades slip a fraction, revealing a spark of sapphire steel, the crowd cooing in collective curiosity as the convivial current conceals the creeping confrontation, monitors murmuring with nascent notifications / Cher on view trending tentatively, oblivious to the opulent outrage aborting in this ostensibly sparkling symposium, as the echoes of polite applause for Cher's deft deflection a husky hoot about irrelevance. Baby, I've been irrelevant since the dinosaurs discoed, and look at me, still slaying a settle into a suspenseful simmer. Joy Behar inches her tumbler closer, the clink of isocrystalline clarion call, the studio sotto voce symphonia rustling programs, whispered wagersid dwindling to a dramatic decrescendo that spotlights every subtle shift in posture and purse of lips, the audience arching like a chorus line awaiting the aria's apex, their devices dormant daggers poised for the digital deluge. Cher reclines regally at first, her tattooed talon tracing the table's teak edge, voice of velvet vice, joy, bedel, reinventions my religion I've outlived empires and X's. Turn back time from plea to prophecy. The kids, they sample my soul on their scrolls I'm eternal, not expired. Affirmative amens amen the aisles, a flutter of fans from the faithful 50-somethings, but Joy, the indefatigable inquisitor with a rap sheet of ruffled feathers from Regis to Rosie, barrels onward, her timbre tilting toward the tart, eternal, goddess, your glow-up game's legendary. But this book's buzz feels like a farewell fanfare spilling on Sunny's shade, chastity's changes, that Vegas vortex isn't it less legacy and more last laugh, scraping the spandex for spotlight scraps while beyond K-tilde copyright builds the hive, the thrust thuds like a thunderclap in chiffon, barbed with the bite of backstage bravado, and the panel prickles a Whoopi's eyebrows ascend like drawn bridges, Sarah's smile strains at the seams. Alyssa's notepad notches a neutral note, Sunny suppresses a sympathetic sigh, Anna averts her eyes to avert alliance. Cher's fingers freeze mid-flourish, that impassive icon's facade fissuring faintly, her retort rolling rich and resonant. Scraps? Darling, my scraps are symphony yes Sunny was my scaffold, not my shackle chas my pride, not my plot twist. You're peddling pity porn while I pioneer paths you parade on. The riposte resonates. A ripple of righteous ripples racing through the ranks, sporadic snorts from the snark-savvy seniors mingling with millennials' muted murmurs, the schism surfacing like fault lines in a faultless facade, phones flickering furtively as feeds ferment with first flurries of fervor. Joy, jousting juggernaut undeterred, jettisons a jaunty jab, palms upturned in mock mea culpa. Pioneer? Cher, you're the blueprint. But blueprints gather dust to your believe beats been beaten by divas now ever fret the farewell tour's your finale, feathers and all, or is this memoir your mic drop before the curtain calls? The second salvo sings as, a siren song of subtle sabotage evoking Cher's own veiled vexations over ageist algorithms and algorithmic amnesia, and the diva's demeanor darkens, shades descending fully as she uncrosses limbs with a languid leopard's leisure. The podium protesting with a pivotal pivot. Mic drop? Try manifesto. Joya your jabs are jealousy in jogging pants, judging journeys you jauntily join for juice. I've danced with decades you dissect for dollars. The counterpunch crackles, cabling the chamber with charged charisma, the hush hinging on a hairpin as Anna attempts arbitration. Ladies, let's laud the lady Cher's charted courses we covet. Yet Joy loops lethally, her laughter a lancet. Covet? Honey, I covet your chutzpah, but at our age, chutzpah's just chafing admit it. This splash is survival swim, not siren song. Feathers fraying faster than your fan base, theory the trigger tumbles. Feathers fraying, a feathered arrow aimed at Cher's crowning coiffure and cultural cachet, her eyes emerging eclipsed, the performer's poise propelling into propulsion as she palms the table, voice vaulting volcanic. Fraying? That's frailty from your fractured fairy tale as my fans are family, not fads you're flogging fear while I flourish fearless. The volley vaults viciously, vivisecting the veneer of variety, the throng transfixed in a tapestry of tension, ooze orbiting like orbiting satellites, Control consoles crackling with crisis QS hotter than Hades hold the hijack. While Whoopi wields wisdom's wand, wrists waving for wavelength, unyielding, Joy lances last, fearless. Sweetie, my fearless filled forms before your first follicly spill. Is Cher the comeback queen or just a crown clinging? The intensification ignites, interjections interlacing like improvised jazz jabs, the tableau taut as a tightrope tango, lenses luxuriating in the luminosity of the flare of Cher's flared nostrils, Joy's jagged jawlinea as the dialogue devolves from dialogue to duel, the bouquet of banter blooming barbed, whispers whipping through the wings where wardrobe whispers wardrobe malfunction incoming? The interlude inexorably inching toward infamy's ignition, the arena, erstwhile an amphitheater of affable affrays, now throbs with the thermonuclear thrum of a titan tantrum, the spectators a statuary of stunned sentinels as Cher's podium pulses under her paling palm, a primordial portent in this pantomime of pointed patter where propriety perishes and passions prevail paramount. Joy Behar, the battleaxe of broadcasts and boat, beams a beatific barb, clinging, Cher, crowns are for conquerors, a yours costume jewelry jingling for jeopardy, a gypsy gimmick gasping while Gaga grabs the gauntlet. The goad galvanizes the gale, Cher's composure combusting in a conflagration of candor, rocketing ramrod straight with the rapidity of a rocket in rhinestones, her timbre transmuting from throaty to thunderous, gimmick. Joy, your gripes are granny gossip, a gabbing grievances while I galvanize generations. My gauntlet script tighter than your grudges on gone glories. The philippic proliferates, potentiometers peaking in the broadcast booth, the multitude mobilizing into mayhem, gasps gushing like geysers, guffaws geysering from the gleeful, a vanguard vixen ventilating vigorously as vignettes vanish in viral vortex, Cher clash Cher coups cascading coast to coast. Sunny, the sagacious sentinel, summons serenity. Sisters, simmer Cher's chronicles our chorus. But Joy, the jaunty javelineer, javelins joyously, chorus. Darling, you're the solo screech of feathers for the finale, but the footlights flicker ever envisioned the encore's eclipse, or is this your swan song in spangles? Scattered schadenfreude scatters shards of Snickers, shredding the solemnity like confetti in a cyclone, but Cher's circuitry shorts spectacularly at the sluice gates surge as she springs sovereign. Velvet vanquishing in a vortex of vogue, forefinger fulminating like a fortissimo finale. Eclipse, that's your eclipse. Eclipsed by envy your views of vulture's vigil, vamping venom while visionaries vogue victorious. Vacate this vitriol I'm vaporizing. The ultimatum unleashes Armageddon audible, the ensemble evaporating in electrified ether, limelights lacerating the legend's lithe silhouette, her visage a vortex of indication and vituperation. The horde hyperventilating, a hurricane huff as if the ether's been evicted edict, havoc hurdles, a handler's holler hacks the headphone as a security to set segments scorched. Nonetheless Joy, the plucky provocateur peaked, parries playfully, vaporizing. Cher, percha divas are drafted for drama, not departures, but the breaches breached Cher's cadence catapults, Lube Alton's lacerating laminate like lightning lashes, eluding the espresso accoutrements, espresso fuel declare eviscerating in entropy to the egress, eschewing entreating embraces from ensnared ensign, her egress an emblem of embattled eminence. The phalanx frenzies, a frenzy of fervor and flail. Cher, chant on. From cherubim choristers, clobber the crone. From caustic cadres a cameraman careening to chronicle the crusade, the hallowed horseshoe hollowed into a hollow of hubris. In the interregnum, Alyssa alibis with area sides, Sarah soothes with silver linings, the ensemble evading the epicenter as emissions at Cher's chic chasse tilde copyright into obscurity, networks nuking with nuggets and newshounds nipping at narratives, netizens navigating the nexus, clips cloning like clones in a cabaret. Sanctum shadows speculate, sparked by the Spangles light, Joy's jaundiced jape at juvenescence, or purely the polarity of perennial prowess in prickly punditry. Conjectures cascadia Cher's circadian crankiness from curtain calls, Joy's jugular quest for quotable quotients, or solely the symbiosis of siren sovereignty and sassy scrutiny. The telecast rebounds with ragged resilience, Whoopi wrangling whimsy from the whirlwind. Viewers, that was volcanic Cher, our fleeting phoenix, Feathering flames we fanned, the accolades ambivalent, an amalgam of awe and ache, as announcements avalanche like arbitrators, auguring aftermath, ashes or apotheosis. Universally, undulations unfurl, an icon unchained, an interlocutor unbowed, an altercation alchemizing archetype, affirming that beneath the blaze's beguilement, bravados are bastions bracing to buckle. What a whirlwind, what a view! Wildfire forged into folklore's forge, forging its facet into the firmament of feuds forever fabulous.